From the liberal Northeast comes a lone voice of truth. Honest commentary in dishonest times. Think deeper with Juan Newsom. This is the Cure Radio Program. This is the Cure.
Hello. Thanks for tuning in. I am Kat Hernandez, and joining me is Mr. Juan Newsom. Say hi, Juan.
Hey, what a week heart.
So this week has been super eventful. Just to break it down for you, schools have started right out here in Georgia, and just in time for my schooling to start, Mr. Juan Newsom took a much unanticipated trip to the ER. And he got to see firsthand the inner workings of our hospital system currently under COVID regulations or whatever they got going on in Jersey.
I took the COVID test. They stick this thing up your nose. It was painful.
Ew.
It's not something that I want to do again.
And the results are?
Negative.
Yay! So that brings us to the first questions that they ask you when going through the process. Have you, Juan Newsom, been exposed to the coronavirus?
No, I have not.
Apparently not, because he tested negative. Or your immune system is just so awesome.
Probably. That's probably the case.
Okay. Regardless, all good.
Even though I went to Florida like a month and a half ago. So I could have caught it on the plane. I took two trips. I took one trip there and back, so it was possible.
The Florida numbers are coming down, just for the record.
Yep.
But we don't know what their real numbers were, because I'm assuming that they weren't taking real numbers. So whatevs. We're still in the same boat of we don't know what's going on here.
Well, Floridians are taking the virus just as serious as anyone. When I was there, everyone was masked up. They were taking precautions with the social distancing when you go into restaurants and I went to the nail salon when I was there. They took extra precautions. So it was no different. I felt like I was in New Jersey. So
let me ask you, why were you at the nail salon?
Pedicure.
We're learning so much about you, Juan. He's like, damn it, New Jersey, I need my petty.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, there was like no petty action going on in Jersey when I went to Florida. I'm like, what?
He's like, I need these feet a beat.
Yeah, seriously. Uh-huh.
All right, so we are so happy you tested negative. I am not certain what we were chatting about on our previous show, but if you want to find out, you can go to Juan and Kathy Talk. We're here on Facebook, Twitter, and we will be launching our Instagram shortly. Right, Juan?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can catch us on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify. We're all over.
Okay, so let's do a recap of the week, and we're gonna go straight in on the cancel culture. For if you guys don't know, cancel culture is basically the libs taking the step up to not only discredit what you're saying, they just don't want to hear it anymore. So they're gonna contact their people, the higher ups in the media, to just totally either shadow ban you. That's what they were doing originally. Remember the Tea Party and all that? They were like shutting down people. Now they're just totally sending you notifications saying you're either in Facebook jail or whatever you said was deemed to be not true by, the truth beholders of the Facebook world or Twitter world, and they will just deactivate your account.
I got a question to ask you too. This is about cancel culture. So you notice that during baseball and during the NBA games, MLB and NBA games, that they're doing the kneeling and the Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff, and people are like tuning out. So our patriotic Americans, are we getting involved in the cancel culture as well, because it's hurting
Oh,
their ratings?
yes, 1000%. It works both ways, that they're
Yep.
starting to learn, right? Because I cannot tell you how quick the channel in my house changed when they started with the baseball and just hearing about NBA, because I refuse to watch that nonsense in my television. But yeah, I'm not going to be putting up with protests. I don't even
Hmm.
want to watch the idiots on the news when they broadcast them protesting and burning stuff down. The last thing I want to do is have to pay for a channel or
Hmm.
a sport that is supposed to take you away from the seriousness of what's happening. What's the point in us having sports, right? I was so
Hmm.
excited. Okay, let's watch baseball, right? Sitting down watching baseball. Everything they talk about is about the mask. Everything they talk about is how they're social distancing from each other. Everything they talk about has to do with the testing that they're doing. They're talking about COVID more than they're talking about the damn baseball game, primarily because it's so freaking boring. I was like, change this nonsense. I'd rather
Hmm.
watch like Netflix instead.
Hmm. Hmm.
What say you, Juan?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I already don't enjoy today's sports as much as I used to yesterday's sports.
Yeah.
And so when you add this in, it's kind of a twofer. It's just a pile on of, and it just makes me not want to watch the sports even more. I probably will watch the NFL season, but only because I love football that much. But basketball and baseball, I mean, I love baseball too.
So are
But
we
just,
assuming that it's going to start?
I think it's going to stop at some point because the ratings,
Oh,
these sports franchises, they got to renew these TV contracts. And so at some point, when it comes to looking at, the amount of money that they're going to get for these contracts, and the ratings are way down, or the streaming is way down, or whatever, I think it's going to eventually stop.
so let me ask you a question. Do you think this is like some weird reverse psychology? Because you know that the left and the media was trying to take down sports altogether, because of the toxic masculinity that
Yeah.
was involved. So now we're just opting out because we don't want to see all the kneeling and we're not interested in talking about, like, I just want to point out, um having fake noise pumped into a stadium and having holographic uh fans is just creepy weird. Like
Yeah.
it's not, it's not real, and now it's like more not real than it was before, like
Hmm.
no
Well, I
bueno.
think well, I think with progressives, when they look at them, like a few years ago, they were out on the outside of looking in terms of sports. Baseball, you didn't even see this coming from baseball. You saw it
Mm-mm.
in football. You saw it with Kaepernick and the kneeling and other players. And then it just kind of spilled over into basketball and now baseball. So
But
when,
what's the deal with the kneeling? I don't get it. Like, you didn't kneel down before. Why do you need, why now show this representation?
I think they feel the pressure from the media and the whole George Floyd thing. They want to show that they're kind of woke and aware. I don't really understand it from baseball because like I said, baseball was totally removed. Basketball and football, they were kind of going in that direction, but baseball, the first game of the season, they're kneeling. It just
Yeah. It didn't
it's
set the right tone for the season, let me tell you.
no, it really didn't. And I love baseball, and I love going to baseball games. But I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay a ticket to go see that once they open the stadium back up.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm not into sports, so this really doesn't affect my life negatively one way or the other. Like, if I don't have to watch it, it would be great.
How can you not be in the sports and your husband's an agent? Come on.
I know. But actually, I am into boxing. So,
Okay.
but that's
All
like
right.
that's like the old school Puerto Rican in me. I'm into boxing and I like the grit, I like the fight, I like brawlers, I like, all the weight divisions. I just like the art and the sport of boxing. The rest of it,
Science.
yes, exactly. The rest of it is like, I could take it or leave it. If it's on, it's on. If I was at a bar or something and they had the game on, then, I'll be staring at the screen. But other than that, I'm not following. I'm not a huge fan of sports, especially when they act like a bunch of babies about everything. Like, get over yourself, play the
Yeah.
game, and shut up. I don't want to hear if you're, Drew Brees, and I don't want to hear if you're LeBron James, and I don't want to hear if you're that number 23 girl that got all angry because they didn't say her name. Like, we don't know you. We don't care. Like, calm down.
I know. I posted it on my page. I'm thinking to myself, like, nobody knows who you are.
Exactly.
And you better be lucky this guy gave you a shout out. Nobody watches the WNBA. Y'all don't make a lot of money. I'm like, oh my God.
Girl, bye.
and the way that he used that term, number 23, guys talk about, when guys are talking about sports or whatever, we use that, we call out numbers all the time if we don't know the person's name. So it's nothing uncommon. He wasn't being demeaning or sexist or whatever. It's just something that people do when they're talking sports. So
are you mansplaining the sport lingo to me right now? Is that what we're doing? Is
I
that
gotta
what's happening?
I gotta mansplain. Good Lord.
Say my name. She went all Destiny's Child on us. I don't know.
No, she went baby. Baby from Cash Money when he was like, put some respect on my name.
Alrighty then. So I think cancel culture in full effect. Baseball, basketball, I mean, maybe football on the come up. If they open up, who the hell knows? I guess we'll have to just wait for Fauci to see what's going to happen with that. So what's up next? Oh, man.
You have the docket.
Are we still on? I thought
we're still on.
Okay, cool. All right. So if you are just tuning in and joining us, this is our first live tester here. So you can definitely catch us on Juan and Kathy Talk if you go to our Facebook page, like our page, and then you will get the notifications for when we're on. And we're going to try and do live streaming regularly so we can update you guys if you want to have put comments or whatever, ask questions, topics you want to hear about. Hit us up. Let us know you're listening. All right.
We need advertisers, so click.
Okay. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am here in Georgia. Mr. Juan Newsom is up in New Jersey. I
need to move.
Yes, we are living in two totally separate worlds right now. So, for example, I live in the land of freedom down here in the South, and that actually is kind of like opposite of what people would think. You would think like, oh, you're in a progressive city, you'd be more free, people are, have more culture, whatever. But actually, you're locked down. My state is opened up, and schools have resumed. And gyms are open, restaurants are open, bars are open, pools open. What you got going on in your neck of the woods, Juan?
How about I'm getting a plane ticket and I'm coming to stay with y'all for a weekend so that I can experience some freedom?
I tell you, it's a crazy debate, and it's interesting to be in this situation where, like I was mentioning to you earlier, I'm really at the tip of the spear here.
Yep.
I mean, people are fighting about going back to school. School opened up here. The teachers are excited to be in
Yeah.
school. The
Yeah.
kids are excited to be in school. They want to be with their teachers, not
Yep.
just each other, because my kids are all playing with each other, but they want to be in school, in the learning environment, with the teachers, back to a routine.
Well, here's the dichotomy. I grew up in the South,
Ha,
and
we flipped.
you grew up in the North. So what the hell is that?
I learned better in my older age. I don't know what happened with you, but
Look, I'm trying to migrate. I'm trying to look. We're even gonna buy a house in the South.
yeah.
So just so we can have something.
I 100% recommend it. A lot of people that I talk to that I'm friends with in New York, they're like, it's so racist, it's so prejudiced, it's so this, that, and the other thing. I mean, I have not had that experience,
Yeah,
so
you
I
don't have to
can't vouch
move
for
them.
that.
You don't have to move to Mississippi.
You ain't got to go to Bama.
Well, just like I was in Palm Beach a month ago, and it was
She.
fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, Palm Beach.
Palm Beach, Palm Beach, Miami, Fort Lauderdale was even nice. Even though I know
Well,
it's like a retirement community, but it was
don't
still
do
nice.
Miami. Miami's locked down. They going cray cray over there.
I'll do Palm Beach. I think Palm Beach.
There you go. I could co-sign that. All right. So, schools reopening is a huge debate. How much PPE is needed? What's the safety protocols and all this junk? First of all, I know, being a parent, your kid's not going to keep a mask on all day. So forget about it. If this is the fight you're fighting, forget about it. Kids cannot see with shields on their face. You can't.
No.
You can't see. I have a dozen shields, and it's blurred vision. If you're driving with a shield on, you are a danger to other people on the road. Just straight up. Like, this is how it is. And the teachers also cannot wear a mask for 8 hours because we can't understand what you're saying. I had one meeting for about 30 minutes, and everything that was being said, I had to repeat because I felt like I wasn't hearing because I couldn't see their mouth move. So I wasn't like clearly understanding what they were saying.
Yeah.
You cannot be a teacher and instruct someone if they can't see you and they don't know what you're saying. They can't articulate anything. So if you parents, wherever you are waiting for that miracle of a mask for everyone and like all these health protocols to be in place, just forget it. Just homeschool your kid, teach your kid at home, and be done with the whole argument. Everybody else, let everybody else go to school and function how they want to function. But I hear too many parents, or even those who don't have parents, the nerve, right? Trying to tell you what to do with your kid when they ain't even got a kid going to school. And no, college age is not a kid. They're a grown-up, and they could fend for themselves.
Well, colleges in the South and in the Midwest, they're opening.
Yeah.
So it's just in the Northeast where everybody has lost their damn minds. And the West Coast, California.
Well, the cities.
The liberal cities.
I would like to know, what are the protocols and what's the data behind the actions that they're taking? Is this making you safer? I'll give you a perfect example. The little dots, directional stickers in the stores. Is walking one way down the aisle and not the other way down an aisle making you any safer? It makes no sense. I do not abide by those stupid stickers. I'm not looking at the sticker. I'm not acknowledging that there's a sticker on the floor. If I need to grab something in an aisle, I'm just going to walk down the aisle and grab it. I'm not going to freaking go around 3 different aisles because nothing is being protected by taking these actions. And that's exactly the same thing that's happening everywhere. Everywhere. So,
yeah, I know for some of the universities in the West, I'm gonna give you an example, like Purdue. I saw, like, I think 2 weeks ago, Mitch Daniels, who was the former governor of Indiana, he's the president of Purdue, and he talked about the protocol. They're opening.
yeah.
And he talked about the protocols that they were going to use, and they're going to do constant testing and
No, they're not. But go ahead.
and be prepared to. But still, he has protocols in place.
Yeah.
Northeastern, Eastern schools, liberal cities, like closing down. Like, come on, dude. Kids gotta go back to school.
Well, we also need to look at the data on their future, right? Why do kids need to go to school? And every liberal will tell you it's because they need an opportunity. They need futures. They need an education. Why? Because unlike race and unlike religion and unlike sexuality and unlike all of these other factors that they love to blame things on, education is the one defining factor of whether you are going to be poor or whether you're going to be successful in life, period. One of the major contributing factors to poverty is lack of education. We all know this. They have drilled it into our brains for the longest time.
Yep.
So now denying kids an opportunity to be educated, and the school systems already suck. So imagine, now they want to take away even sucky education and leave you with, like, what? Staying at home, getting depressed, feeling isolated, feeling lonely, not having like other kids to socialize with, to vibe off of, to find some kind of camaraderie with. Unless you're gonna buy everybody a puppy, I don't know how you're gonna have socially functioning children.
Yeah. I mean, the upside is that they won't get their yearly dose of Marxism, but then
they won't be indoctrinated.
Yeah.
That upside is truly only available, though, to parents with means.
Yeah,
so I know personally, like, if the school didn't open, I am capable with the equipment that I have, with the education I have, with my just in general knowledge in life. I know that I could teach my kids what they need to know in order to function and like grow without having formal school. That ain't gonna be fun, but it could be done. There are a lot of parents that are not capable of doing that.
All I need is one mic.
Is that why your mic was echoing?
Yeah, it was.
Ah, well. You extra mic'd up.
So,
right, go ahead. Continuing.
So, I saw this article
Uh-oh.
in the Wall Street Journal, written in the opinion column, written by Peggy Noonan.
He's pulling out the Wall Street Journal.
Right here.
Yes.
I get my weekly Wall Street Journal. I get we have it, the electronic app, but I get the printed version for the weekend.
Yes.
Peggy Noonan has this article called "Burn the Republican Party Down?" ? And so she basically in this article pointed out what we've been trying to tell the establishment Republicans and the Never Trumpers for the last 3 years. And I'm sitting here reading this article like, no shit, Peggy. No shit. Where have you been for 3 years?
Is she Captain Obvious?
Yeah, like, really? Are you kidding me?
Well, tell us, Juan, because I don't get that newspaper.
You don't get the Wall Street? Okay, I'll just do some. I can't read the whole thing because we're going to bore the audience.
Synopsis. Give us a synopsis.
Okay, here it is. I'm gonna begin with it. Where did Donald Trump come from? Where is the GOP going? Should the whole thing
Space.
be burnt to the ground?
Yes.
A
I
lot.
actually agree that it should be burned out. I don't like either of these parties, to be
Well,
perfectly honest.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I've been telling a lot of people this. I said, look, Trump is keeping this party alive, believe it or not. I
Well,
said,
okay.
if Hillary Clinton would have won in 2016, that would have been the definitive end of the Republican Party, and something else would have came out of the ashes. I stand by that. I'm gonna say when Trump leaves, that the Republican Party is going to be at a crossroads. Either they're going to reform in his image and continue to win, or they're going to be doomed.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it's so undefined and there's so much of its own persona that what people think about
Hmm.
the parties being like you'll have Democrats, right? But they always rebrand themselves. They're
Hmm.
always liberals, progressive, blue
Socialist.
dog,
Socialist.
Dixiecrat, socialist, communist. Like they got so many different
Communists.
there's so many different variations.
Well,
Like
they're communists now.
we need
Straight
a
up.
variation. I
No.
don't know. I kind of espouse more to the libertarian side of things, anyways, when it comes to like social stuff. When it comes to like economic, military stuff, I'm way more conservative than
But
most
Cat,
people.
but Cat, that's the magic of Trump. Okay, so Trump put together Demo. See, look, you got blue collar Democrats that are conservative,
Hmm.
that supported Trump. That's why he won the blue wall. A lot of people think that blue wall thing was a fluke. He won that damn blue wall for a reason. Okay. There are some libertarians that support Trump. There's also a
Yeah,
lot of pro-life Democrats that
yeah,
supported Trump. Trump won over a lot of Democrats. That's why he won. Independents that support Trump. So it's not like his base is solely the Republican Party, evangelical conservatives. His
right.
base come from a variety of places. So people like you can support him that are more libertarian, people that are very conservative and evangelical, or a lot of gun owners. Think about the gun control. Think about the role that the Second Amendment played in not electing Hillary Clinton, and how many different people from different groups support the Second Amendment. Think about that. Thinking about the
Yeah,
economy. It
for
was an issue.
myself,
It was
yeah.
an issues election.
I mean, I could never vote for Hillary. I just couldn't. Between Bill Clinton, her, covering up for rapists, and Benghazi cover up, and then the
All the people
emails.
she
I
funded.
mean, Haiti, her foundation, her ugly kid. It's like, I couldn't do Hillary. I just couldn't. I couldn't
It's
support her as a human, let alone as a president. Like, the woman is
horrible.
vile. She made my uterus hurt. Like, that's how
Yeah,
vile she is. She's just gross. She's
yeah.
like, oh.
Kat, I was going to see a client, and the client worked. I got off on the wrong floor, right? This was like
Uh-oh.
a couple of
The
years
story
ago.
goes bad. Go.
A couple of years ago. So I got off on the wrong floor, and it was the Clinton Foundation headquarters, right? And so, so the client was on the top floor. So I looked in there. I was like, "Damn, this is the Clinton Foundation." And the lady was like, "You can come in." And I was like, "Where y'all keep the hot sauce?"
He's so stupid.
She started. She started crying.
Now, I'll do you one better. I work for property management, commercial property management, and the lawyers, one of the law firms in there represented Rahm Emanuel.
Oh, get
So
out of
I
here!
got to see him walk in and out and in and out. You imagine that he goes all the way from Chicago to see his lawyers in New York City?
Yeah,
I found that bizarre because doesn't
no,
Chicago have a lot of, but whatever.
it's not bizarre. I'm gonna tell you why it's not bizarre, because the relationships. When I when I first moved to New York, one of my friends was Obama's fundraisers. So there's like a symbiotic relationship between the lawyers of Illinois and New York. So they prop each other up. They were fundraising like crazy for Obama in New York. This was before the presidency. This is when he was running for Senate. So yeah, Kat.
Yeah, I was like, dang, talk about opportunity right here.
Manual. Yeah, what's next on the...
All right. So we have mail-in ballots and whatever happened to reparations. So let's go for mail-in ballots and should the election be postponed?
Hell no.
Go.
No. How come we're in the middle of a presidential election cycle and they're talking about changing the rules? Democrats always does this shit.
Well, we're also in the middle of a pandemic. Hello. Don't you care about people's lives?
Get off your ass and vote. Go to the booth.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with you.
If it means that Trump is going to be president for just a little bit longer, I'm sure COVID would disappear, and I'm sure people would find a way to get to the election, to go vote.
Kat, all of this mail-in voting is just going to leave us open to fraud.
Oh, clearly.
They're still counting a race in New York.
Well, let me tell you. Do you see the electronic voting that happened in Iowa? Did we ever get a count of who won the Democratic primary?
In Ohio?
Iowa.
It
wasn't Iowa first, and they tried to do the automated or electronic system, and then the thing crashed. And did that happen so long ago that none of us remember what's going on this year?
Yeah.
2020 kick our ass. We got too many things happening right now.
We cannot rely on mail-in voting. And
no, absolutely not.
I'm not worried about the post office. See, Trump, he made a comment about the post office. I'm worried about the people that are counting the votes.
Yeah,
they
can't count them when you have to go and pull the thing and it gets punched actually in person on a physical piece of paper. You can't count them when you do it electronically online at the booth, and you for sure ain't gonna be counting anybody when you have them come in by mail. And what if something gets lost or whatever other idiotic things they could come up with? All you need is one hurricane, one superstorm, and the election is done.
Yeah, and you know what, Kat? You look at the races in California that happened in the midterm elections, and they were able to flip some Republican seats because they were allowed to vote harvest. This is basically what mail-in voting is. Mm-hmm. They want to legalize vote harvesting. And all of those seats in Orange County flipped to Democrats all of a sudden. So, no. No, hell no.
Well, I think that we skipped ahead too far, though, because we went straight to like voting. But did Joe Biden actually pick a VP yet? Like, who is he supposedly going to be running with?
Obama.
Basically.
I don't know.
Listen, this has to fall under like senior abuse or something like that. I cannot believe in good conscience that these people who are around Joe Biden honestly think that this man is capable of running this country, let alone any other country. But this country, he ain't even capable of running Epstein's Island. I don't even think he could run Epstein's Island. There was only one way in and one way out, and I'm sure he could not accomplish that. Like, it's insanity.
With Giselle as VP, he could probably run Epstein's Island.
Yeah. I mean, how terrible. The man can't find his way out of the basement long enough. He probably is like lacking vitamin D because he looks ghostly white.
Kat, aren't we told that the Democratic Party is the party of diversity and understanding and compassion? But yet the last two presidential candidates have been decrepit old white people
and the
Hillary,
best that they could do.
Joe Biden is obviously borderline dementia. Hillary Clinton kept having seizures. She couldn't
Yes,
stand up straight.
yes,
What
that's
the
what evil
hell?
does to you. When like the physician said, when the demon attaches to you, then God has a way of bringing you down. And that
Hillary
is what we watch. Hillary Clinton was like spazzing out and shit. She couldn't catch
wearing
her balance. She was all messed
wearing
up.
blue shades, wearing blue sunshades
Blackout. She
to
had to block out the light because the light of the Lord was like piercing her devil soul.
Oh my God.
I
That
told
is
you I was gonna fit in my demon lady somewhere around here.
that is gold. That is radio gold right there.
And didn't speaking of which, didn't Joe Biden during one of the debates, didn't he like bust capillaries in his eyeball and like
Oh no.
his teeth like slipped off the grip, like the poly grip ungripped
Oh
in the
yeah,
middle
yeah,
of like
yeah.
talking is like shifted around?
Yeah, it's gonna be brutal. Trump,
That's the Lord. That's the Lord coming after that evil.
they don't want to debate Trump.
What are they going to debate? He's basically going to call them out for who they are and what they are. And they're going to be like, he's mean. He doesn't use facts. He's not telling the truth. You can't debate. They already started. You can't debate someone who doesn't want to deal in reality. This is what they say about Trump.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I remember the last debates with Hillary Clinton, and she was making all of these policy suggestions, and Trump called her out. He said, "Look, man, you've been in Washington for like over 30 years. Why haven't you done any of this?"
Exactly. Exactly.
So Biden's been in Washington for what, 50 years? 50. Almost 50 years.
Yes, and versus and you had a perfectly good candidate with Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, with her Native American background. Like, why did they objectify her and not give her a fair chance? She's a woman. She's Native American. She was a homemaker until she became a professor. What else did she say about herself?
They didn't have no good. Honestly, they didn't have no good candidates. I mean, they could have ran Booker and Harris.
Oh, God.
Maybe.
Well, didn't he just come out saying that he was gay?
Huh? Oh, I missed that.
Didn't he come out saying that he was gay or bisexual, maybe?
Corey?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Didn't he say that? I could have swore that I heard that somewhere.
Oh no.
That would have gave him like extra diversity points. He wouldn't have just been black. He would have been black and gay. But I guess Obama kind of took that one though, right?
Oh no. Oh, ouch. 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 Well, I don't know.
We're gonna have to save that one for another show.
Oh yeah, that's a whole 3-hour segment. I have no idea.
All right, guys. On that note, you are listening to Juan and Kathy Talk. And this was our test run for the Facebook Live. If you have fun, make sure you go to our page, Juan and Kathy Talk, and like and subscribe and get our notifications so that we come on live, you will know. And if you know how to use Facebook Live or other broadcasting software, please get in touch with either one of us because this ain't what we do. We like talking, but we don't like, organizing the whole feed and all that good stuff. So we are looking for someone. If you have that skill and you want to join us and have fun with us, then definitely keep in touch. All right, Juan, how can people get in touch with you? What's your page? What's your social? Give it all. Give it all.
Juan and Kathy Talk. And
then your page.
The Cure with Juan Newsom. And I'm on Facebook, Twitter. Also, I do a segment with interviews. You can catch me on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Tune It In Radio. I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place.
Everywhere. All right, guys. I am Kat Hernandez, and you can catch me on Kathy Talk and on Instagram if you want to follow along for some personal pictures. And don't forget, I also talk to the tarot. So if you want some readings up in here, stay tuned for the live shows.
She worships the devil.
Serpent worshiping temptress. Somebody actually called me that.
What?
I kind of liked it though. I'm like, ooh, I'm a temptress. Okay, I'll take it.
You better not tell Chico you're a temptress.
He already knows. He's been under my spell for 16 years. All right, guys, it has been fun. Thank you so much for joining. Be sure to keep in touch with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Kathy Talk. Like, share, subscribe, post some comments. Tell us what you think. Until next time, say bye, Juan.
Goodbye.
This is The Cure.